to share some things with you guys. I moved during the beginning of the lockdowns of COVID. I'd been a teacher for 3 years prior to that. The job was slowly killing me because I knew I wanted to make a difference, be something for people, and I'd get yelled at and bullied by teachers, phone calls and things from parents. Basically, like, stop teaching our children and just give them a grade. I cried. I couldn't sleep. I hated it. Your license is for teaching, don't go across states. You have to get recertified. I went a non-traditional route. I had a physics degree, not a teaching degree. It was near impossible to get. I knew that I couldn't keep teaching if I wanted to have any kind of myself left, and if I wanted to not just turn into the teacher that is just there for the paycheck. I like tech stuff. I taught myself some coding, so I was like, okay, we got like IT or programming or something. So I bought the A+ certification books and started studying Google IT certification and whatnot. I feel incredibly guilty and when I can't help, and so I was either studying or cleaning all the time. I didn't do anything for myself because I felt like I didn't have a right to. If I don't have a job, if I'm not contributing financially, then all of my time should go towards trying to get a job or helping. My partner was like, well, play some video games to like relax. I shouldn't play video games because if I have time to play video games, I have time to study or look for a job. And they're like, well, why don't you try streaming? Just, then you won't feel so guilty about playing video games. Yeah, I'll try it. Sure, why not? And I started doing it. And I loved it immediately. But it wasn't, it didn't turn into what it is now until August of last year. I really spent a lot of time last summer trying to figure out what I wanted to do with streaming, because that guilt that I had from not having a job had been placed into streaming of why am I here? Why am I streaming? What am I doing for the people who are in my community? Why do I deserve to be here? So I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out. In August, we had the big Psychonaut relaunch. It pushed the community into the direction that it is now. But even then, even with all of that, I still have a lot of anxiety and stuff. I let you guys in about 90% of my life, and then in November of last year, I went through some stuff that I had to share. I shared about my ex and what I had been through for, just the surface of it. They had gotten 7 years in prison, that I was the reason they had 7 years in prison. They were getting out on parole this past November. But there was still a big part of my life that I keep to myself. I've been through a lot in my life. When it comes to certain things, I wanted to make sure that I was safe. The other part of it was I did not want people to say, oh, you do a really good job for someone this. I wanted it to be either I succeeded or I didn't, and it was just because of me. My grandmother was awful. She was emotionally abusive and manipulative, and so from that I am super self-critical and self-judgmental. The other parts of my family, they just thought I was just some spoiled brat. I got everything I wanted. I got to do sports, nice clothes, go on cruises. If it was my family, my successes weren't my own. And if it was my grandmother, it was somehow simultaneously my successes were always perfect successes, but I was also never good enough. I don't know how both of those things could be true at the same time, but they were. I wanted whatever success or failure I had to be my successes and my failures. But because of that, and because of the parts of my life I haven't shared, I've had to work so much harder. I have a really hard time being active everywhere. I've told you guys I have an entire laptop just so I can make sure I'm trying to support the amazing people that I've met. I try to have community nights, and I try to be in Discord, and I try to do all these things, and I don't feel like I do enough for you guys. I don't. So I get to be here instead of a 9-to-5, or instead of teaching where I feel like I'm failing every single day. Yesterday when I got off stream and I heard about the Texas stuff, it hurts. It really fucking hurts. The reason it's extra hard and the reason that yesterday the events that went on hit so hard and I could very well like lose everybody because of this is because I have 2 kids. I never wanted to be said that I did good for someone who has kids, or you can only do so much because you have kids, or to say that I was using the fact that I had kids to get ahead. I wanted it to be because of me. I heard all of those things my whole life of like, you know, oh, you're only good because of this, or you whatever. When I did the charity event for kids and stuff, it's because I get it. I lived in an RV on the top of a mud hill with no power and nothing in the middle of the summer with 2 kids and an abusive husband. And I had to carry buckets of bath and poop water down the hill to dump it and back up every day just to be able to survive. So like, I get it. When you guys say it's hard, I get it. 22 to like 26 were some of the worst years of my life. But without all of that, I wouldn't have been able to understand a lot of what you guys have been through in the way that I do. And I feel it. It hurts. It physically hurts when you guys are hurting. And that's a lot to take in. But I wouldn't change it, you know? Be the right time to tell you guys. But this felt like the right time. I hope it was. This is not what I thought I'd be talking about this morning, by the way, guys.